Do big streamers even make six figures? Yeah, like this person said, it's a very top heavy industry. Some do. What's the stat? I think there are only like 20,000 streamers that are above 10 viewers. It's not that many people. Um, yeah, not that. It's so hard to say because some people have like a lot of viewers but don't make that much because of the way they're monetized. Some communities gift a lot of subs, but they're small, so then that streamer ends up making more. So it's hard to like look at someone's CCV or how many followers they have and be like, oh, they probably do. But the ones at the top definitely do. One chunk down from that, I'd say some do depending on what they do, depending on how they monetize themselves. Some people do well but have a lot of overhead, right? Like you could say they make six figures, but then they spend so much out to keep their shit going. So if you're talking about profit, there's probably a lot that aren't. No, obviously, which is the same for any person working a job, right? But a streamer would have more overhead than a person with a desk job because they have all these projects they're doing. You're paying double tax. I've talked about this before, right? You're paying self-employment tax along with normal income tax. So your tax rate is a lot higher too. So a lot of your income does get eaten. So there are a lot of people that I would say, yes, they do make six figures technically, but their take home is lower than someone else making six figures in a normal W-2 job, you know? So it's hard to gauge, but there's so much that could take money out of the equation. Yeah, and health insurance, right? We don't have any benefits as streamers. So all of that is also out of pocket or paying for your own insurance, etc. Yeah, it's kind of rough on how many pieces of the pie get taken out before you get your take home. So I would say an okay number of them do make six figures, but their actual profit at the end of the day is like, really eaten into. So it's hard to gauge if they're doing well based off of what their income looks like on paper. You'd have to do like P&L and go over it. You're also funding your own retirement and benefits. That's something that people forget. Your employer, you do like a lot of shit with your retirement funds and all of that, where your employer takes some money from your income and puts it into whatever fund you have, if you have a 401k or whatever's going on, your IRAs, etc. As a streamer, you get money in your bank account from streaming. You pay all of your overhead, you pay double taxes, and then you're like, if I want to have retirement, I have to take some of this money and just write a check and just put it into my retirement fund. And that is it. There's no matching, there's no source of any of this being built up in any other way. You do it all just yourself. And regular savings, right? So, yeah. Yeah. Pretty much you're doing it all yourself. And it can be really tough. It can be really tough. So I would say, do a good number of people make six figures? Yes. Are a lot of those people not going to be very well off over time? Yes. Yes. Unless they're being incredibly smart, and even then, there's only just so much you could do. But, yeah. So that's why you see me. Do I do a fully animated lore video every single time I have an outfit debut? No, because I'm not making buku bucks where I think it's like totally fine for me to sneeze that money out. I could put that into a retirement account instead, and maybe I could live later. Right? So, does that mean that everyone who's doing that is spending irresponsibly? No, they might have good monetization and they're doing okay, and that's why they're able to do that. I wouldn't bother them about it, but like, depends on the person, right? Depends on the person. This is why I do like stuff during debuts that does not cost me like 20k to make, Y'all are retiring? I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to have an off-ramp. There's not going to be a real retirement. But the thing is, I don't know how it will be. My guess is that content creators will not be able to keep creating content into like once you're past 40, I feel like it's not going to work out for a lot of people. It's kind of like being in a sports career where you age out at some point. I don't think many people are going to make it super long, because once you're perceived as older, then, you're like dead to the influencer world or whatever, because kids are weird. So I think a lot of people are just going to be kind of like aging out of their job at some point. Some will be able to continue making it. I think the internet's getting better with it over time, but it's not like other jobs where you can just stay in whatever career And even if you're not making much for retirement, you can work as long as possible. You you like might not be able to do that as a creator. you know? So I don't know. I do have faith that it's getting better over time. Like there's hope there. But yeah, I see like by the time people are in their mid 30s to 40, a lot of people drop off and they have a hard time like making their content relatable after a certain point. It's like I said, better over time, but we'll see how many can keep it going. Whereas everyone else with a normal W-2 job can do that job through their 50s and at the very least, you know? Stream audience will age too. Yeah, but will streaming in its current form even be around that way by that time? And will everyone adapt to it? Most content creators don't adapt well. That's why a lot of them don't last. Because they do the same thing forever. So, you know, can be tough. So I think everyone's going to have to find an off-ramp. Either they go back to an old career or they find some other thing to do. That's my guess. But we'll see. I don't think you can plan anything. Who knows what will happen in the future? Yeah, it's all like, we don't know yet. How many content creators are there that started in their 20s and are now like 40? Not many. Not many. Just some. And the thing is, they all have that like benefit of if you're part of the old guard, people will watch you just because you're a familiar name, right? If someone starts right now and they're 25, can that person still have a career in 20 years doing similar kind of stuff? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. How old is NL? He's not even that old. He's not even that old. How, isn't he like mid 30s? Younger 30s? Let me see. 36. 36. He's not quite at the age, like he's at an age where kids are like, oh, you're so old or whatever. But he's not at that age where he's like gonna be 100% disconnected from all younger people. Right? Also depends on the person, but he keeps pretty well connected with shit. So I don't know. I don't know. There are a lot of people in their 20s that still watch him. We'll see, man. We'll see. But again, he's someone who's been around for a really, really, really long time. And I feel like you can't look at those people and be like, someone who starts today doing the same thing as them can have the same trajectory. I feel like they're all just a time capsule and, right? Like things aren't going to happen the same. I don't know. You've watched NL since you were a kid. Dang. Dang. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Content creation isn't even like that old. Yes, there's media, there's television, etc. But more free-form, do-it-yourself, put it on the internet style content creation is like, what, mid 2000s we had YouTube? And people weren't really hopping on YouTube until like 2010 and beyond. So it hasn't been long enough to even be able to tell like what's going to happen with all this, you know? Co Carnage is 41. Yeah, Co's been around a long time. I think people like that will continue to be around because they're just like, the namesake is what it is, right? Feels like a long time because the meta changes so fast. Yeah, but it really, like, realistically hasn't been that long. Not enough data to be able to tell, like, you know, if this works or not. Isn't the average viewer age on Twitch going up? Yeah, I mean, like, gamers are aging. People who use the internet a lot are aging. They're not going to just stop because they get old, right? That's a relic of older folks not having used the internet much to begin with. So as you all sitting here age, you're probably not going to stop using the internet or seeking entertainment on the internet. I just think there are going to be maybe new formats, like how we had long form YouTube videos and then at some point short form got popular, right? Stuff like that. Old gamers. I think for me, this is why I wanted like community to be important. I wanted like the Discord to pop off and be like a fun actual spot to be. Because for me, I wasn't like thinking I'll just make videos forever and that'll work. Instead, I was like, I think it's important to give people a place that is comfortable to be. So as the rest of the internet changes, as the meta changes, they have a spot they can return to that like is a bit more normalized, right? I think that's more important because I was looking at how quickly everything moves around and I was like, you know what? A lot of people can feel really left behind by a lot of shit where they adopt things really quickly and they lose like that one familiar place unless they have a community to keep going back to. So that's why for me, I was like, I think no matter where my community is, whether it's Discord or wherever, like just having the community feel a bit more centralized is better. It's better for everyone. Can Discord remain the same for long haul? I mean, Discord is just an upgraded version of like old TeamSpeak, Vent, and IRC trios that we all used to use. So like, I feel like things haven't changed much. They just put those all together. I don't see a reason for Discord to change much. I think it'll stay pretty similar, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? I'm like convinced that a lot of people from Jersey straight up fabricated those Jersey is shit jokes so that people don't move in. Straight up.